It's a really good blocker here, and if they don't top deck exactly one more Brutal Cathar, really good for us. What's up, everyone? It's TheOneJame, and today we are playing Golgari Fight Rigging with 3 other colors as a twist, especially since we have Gilded Pinions and Courier's Briefcase to make treasure tokens to be able to potentially hardcast Atraxa Grand Unifier, but we're usually going to be getting that off of our fight rigging. If you haven't seen a deck like this before, it has Hideaway 5, which means when it enters the battlefield, look at the top 5 cards of your library, exile 1 face down, then put the rest on the bottom in a random order. And this card specifically says at the beginning of combat on your turn, put a 1/1 counter on a creature you control. And then if you control a creature with power 7 or greater, you can play the exiled card without paying its mana cost. The cool thing about this is that we have a new card from the new set, Devouring Sugarmaw, that has 6 power. So when you put a 1 counter on it, +1/+1 counter, it becomes 7 power to trigger fight rigging. So it's an additional way to trigger it, which means I think it gets a little bit better. Devouring Sugarmaw makes a 1/1 white human creature token and a food for the first half, and it's a white mana, so I wanted to add some white mana to this deck, so it made sense to put some white lands in it, like Caves of Koilos. We have Brushland and Mirrex here, so we can potentially use that side of it. Also, the other side is Menace and Trample. At the beginning of your upkeep, you can sacrifice an artifact, enchantment, or token. If you don't, tap it. So we're going to be either sacrificing fight rigging after we've already got it off. We can also sacrifice Phyrexian Fleshgorger, not that we want to, but we can. Virtue Persistence, Courier's Briefcase token, or the treasure, or a treasure off of Gilded Pinions, or Gilded Pinions itself. So I wanted to have some kind of artifacts and tokens in there in order to keep attacking with Devouring Sugarmaw, because it is a 6/6 for 4, which is pretty darn good. We have Virtue Persistence, a brand new card from Wilds of Eldraine as well, Titan of Industry, and Atraxa as our payoffs for fight rigging. So anyway, I hope you like this version of the deck. We might just be killing our opponents with like Shakedown Heavies and Archfiend of the Dross, which is the cool part about this deck, is we just get to we get to kill them even if we don't get the fight rigging thing off. So anyway, I hope you really like this deck. The deck list, as always, is in the description down below if you want to try it out for yourself. Let's go ahead and get to the matches, though. It all starts right now. Even though I don't like keeping a hand with no play till turn 3, but we do have the Devouring Sugarmaw to do on turn 2. That is a really powerful start for Mono White. This is basically what they would do in Pioneer. I guess our chance is to make a 2/2 here and hope they don't have removal. One sec. Sorry about that, guys. There was a cat in my room. Can't block. We go land, Shakedown Heavy. Yankiper, thanks for the follow. And just hope they don't have removal. They could have laydown arms. They can have ossification. They can have Brutal Cathar. Oh, they could also just brute force their way into killing me? It's probably going to work. Ooh, Virtue's really good here. We can go Virtue plus Shakedown Heavy here. Kind of have to get rid of that. And so even if they have Brutal Cathar, we can still get good trades in. I thought about killing the Intrepid Adversary, but I think the Skrell is, like, really insane. I was kind of fearful of the Knight Errant here because this will probably get a Brutal Cathar. If they haven't seen one already, they're probably going to see one now. They're looking like almost like over a quarter into the deck. Yeah. We need to draw a removal spell. Well, that's a removal spell. It just doesn't remove this. At all. Huh. Think I'll use the have for dinner side. But am I blocking with Bramble Familiar first? Think so? Give me another card. Ooh, land. Okay. Ooh, wow. Okay, I can't do two things a turn. I do kind of have to play a spell. Let's play Devouring Sugarmaw then, instead of Go for the Throat. It's a really good blocker here, and if they don't top deck exactly one more Brutal Cathar, really good for us. And they can't use Recruitment Officer and Brutal Cathar. They also can't use Recruitment Officer and Hopeful Initiate. They might just use this turn to flip the Brutal Cathar, but that's still fine for us. If an Adeline, they drew a land, they can cast it. They're not going to. They want to flip the Cathar. We'll sack the Pinions. Rigging. The problem here with casting Rigging is that we might just have to get a land off of it. Because if we don't, casting two spells is going to flip the Brute. I think I should just go for the Throat plus eat a food. We could fight Rigging for a really powerful spell, but then we can't go for the Throat. I might just go for it. I'm gonna go for it. Sheoldred. Sheoldred or Bramble Familiar? Or just to land. This is hard. We can Bramble Familiar and try to high roll into like a Titan of Industry. We can Sheoldred. They remove our creature, cast Adeline, we go block, block, block. Go to 1. Do I have to just take a land here? I take a land. That was a hard decision. Alright, so what happens if they go all out and attack? We go block, block, block. Take 3. And we do have good blocks. Pass. Priority. They can also kill the rigging with Hopeful Initiate. They cast 2 spells this turn, which means they're going to flip the Brute. So they flip it. They target. Maybe I should have eaten the food, but I kind of want to sack it with the Sugarmaw to keep the Sugarmaw alive. What do we sacrifice here? The rigging doesn't do anything anymore, right? It feels like Archfiend and Sugarmaw do the same job at a 4-drop, but Archfiend does it better and doesn't require wings for sack targets. Yes. But Sugarmaw gives us more redundancy. And also, the Wings and the Courier's Briefcase are just cards we want anyway, right? Because we want to ramp into a 4-drop on turn 3. Like, yes, we could have better ramp things than casting the Pinions. But the Pinions is actually better ramp than a lot of the other ramp because it can't die to, like, cut down or go for the throat from, like, Mono Black or any other mid-range deck or control deck. So we still get the ramp in the form of the treasure that is less susceptible to removal. That's the reason why I like Briefcase so much. Because it makes a blocker that you don't even really need. You can sack the blocker for Sugarmaw if you want to, but you can also... It's also... The treasure is just less susceptible to removal, and it's not like your opponent wants to use Artifact Hate on your treasure token, you know? I cast Archfiend to the Dross, and our opponent is thinking really hard about whether they want to use his Hopeful Initiate or not to kill my food token. I guess we could technically draw an untapped land for turn, hardcast Virtue Persistence, Fade Death again, and then start recovering all of their creatures. I don't think I can die if they top deck Brutal Cathar here. I kind of want it to go to nighttime, so that if they top deck Brutal Cathar, it doesn't actually kill anything. I want to use my... I want to use this food token before... before they want to remove it with Hopeful Initiate. I meant just do it anyway. I guess they could have... They could be either be slow rolling me, you know, roping me, or they could just be their internet could have turned off, so I don't even really know what it is, but judging by our other opponents' pace of play, I'm leaning towards slow roll. Slash roping. Really hard to tell who would win this game anyway, but that was at least a fun game. It had a lot of interesting decisions. I like this hand. Ooh. Especially Virtuous Persistence against Mono Red. Gain some life. Feldon. Okay, Virtue's good against Feldon, for sure. Alright, opponent, it's time to attack. Nothing else you can do. Nice. Gain some life back. I'm gonna go to 16 at least. Hopefully there's no, like, squee or something. Am I fight rigging the whole matches or just our deck? Just our deck needs to be rigged. Our opponent's decks are already rigged. This is best of one. This is the best of one mono red shuffler algorithm. It's already rigged. Put a thing on this. And maybe they're gonna hold up the roll card for a future Virtue. So I think I'm just gonna pass and go for the Throat them. Or Shakedown Heavy. If I Shakedown Heavy... Ooh, I don't have an untapped land for 4 lands next turn. So I should Restless Cottage tapped and then go for the Throat this turn, I think. To just play around the Monstrous Rage card. They have 4 mana, so they probably just have the Monstrous Rage card already. It sucks. I think I'm going to go for the Throat in response to whoever they target with the Wicked Roll token. Because, like, I save a damage from this roll dying, and I also save the 2 damage from this. If they want a Monstrous Rage something, I guess I'll take extra damage, but if they're a smart mono red player, they're not going to use the Monstrous Rage until it's absolutely necessary. So maybe our Virtue of Persistence is worse because of it, but it is what it is. Well, no. Virtue of Persistence against Monstrous Rage, it only gets +1/+1, right? So we can still do this. On this. Okay, they don't have it. And we'll play our 2/2. Well, I'm glad they don't have Monstrous Rage. That was a good test. What's up, Joden? How's it going? That's a chick. I'd like to draw Sheoldred at some point. To give us the chance, we'll block the etching. Oh, they have a Monstrous Rage? Oh, they have a Play with Fire. Oh, Witchstalker Frenzy. Interesting. Okay, I need to draw something good here. That is okay. I could just attack them and then make a food, or just block with the cottage. That's not good. Let's just attack. Let's just play the heavy, and if they top deck Lightning Strike, we just lose. But it is what it is. Attacking with cottage doesn't do anything anyway. The same thing as playing out the heavy. They top deck a land. It's honestly pretty bad for us. If they top deck another Bloodthirsty Adversary, they can Witchstalker Frenzy us now. You're also dead to a lot of stuff. We have to play the Briefcase here. Because then an untapped land lets us cast one of our stuff. Or stuffs. We have to attack because we have blockers anyway. They now with Phoenix Chick here, they can top deck a Play with Fire. We're dead to a lot of stuff. I mean, by attacking with the Shakedown Heavy, it means we lose to another Bloodthirsty adversary, but... I mean, hey, if they have a burn spell, we're dead. We just have to fade it off the top. Oh, that's an untapped land. Alright, well, we have to hope to gain life. Oh, wow, they have nothing. Okay. Wow. We're doing it? We did it? Sometimes lucky, fade back-to-back top decks. I like this hand. Cottage first. It's a Hypnotic Grifter. Wow. Oh, is this an infinite combo deck or something? I think it is. I'll try to kill it. Hopefully it works out. Oh, that worked out. Okay, we got this. Scry to the top. And by scry, I mean surveil. Land. Sleep Curse Fairy. Oh, it is the combo deck, right? We do this with the Grifter, and then untap this, put the untappy tap thing, and then connive their whole deck. Vale, thanks for the follow. After the Soul Cauldron. Uh-oh. Oh, no. The Soul Cauldron the Grifter. Oh. Oh. I understand. I understand, and this is painful. Hopefully I don't lose. We are going to be putting in some damage against them. Training route. Oh, no. Now it costs 1 mana to do that? We might be dead soon. It costs 1 mana to connive. If they get 1 more training grounds, they do this for free. Dang it, that's a 1/1. Takenuma. They get to connive a lot. It's still 1 mana with 2 training grounds, so they can't do it for free. Can't reduce the mana and that cost to less than 1 mana. That makes sense. So it's always 1 mana. They can untap. They can untap for 1 mana, and they can connive for 1 mana. So it's not actually infinite. I feel like it's they need like 1 more combo piece for it to be infinite. Soul Cauldron in the grave. They can block the Archfiend with the Sleep Curse Fairy. I'm okay with that. But they can block it, they can untap it, block it, and then connive. Sleight of hand. If they have any way to put a counter on something that, like, taps for mana, and they can get the untap ability of this. They go tap for mana, untap it, tap for mana, untap it, and that's infinite, I think. Fight rigging. Oh, that's pretty good. Okay, we can stop that. We can stop this with we can stop this if we get Titan of Industry. Oh, Sheoldred's pretty freaking good against this too. Pinions ramps us into Virtue. Yeah. Hit him. I'm not sure if we can lose this game or if Sheoldred wins us this game. I guess they need a witness protection, right? Or like some kind of bounce spell? I mean, Virtue Persistence is really bad against Agatha's Soul Cauldron. But there's something else we can do. I guess we can Takenuma and get a creature and play it. They're gonna connive, they lose life from this. I don't really know if they can win the game through Sheoldred here, especially only being at 7 life. And they're currently still in their upkeep, so they have a draw for turn left. They have to win in their upkeep. I think. Maybe I just don't know how this combo works. But I think it requires them drawing their deck, which Sheoldred does win the game. Alright guys, thank you very much for hanging out. There is a little bit that has to be worked on with this deck. I did want to try the Pained Lands, to be able to cast Atraxa. Atraxa never came up, we never got it off of Fight Rigging, we never got Titan of Industry off of Fight Rigging, but we did get a chance to have Bramble Familiar off of Fight Rigging, which I think is interesting that it's a ramp card, and you can cast Fetch Quest off of it to mill and hope to hit one of the Titan of Industry and Atraxa, and Virtue Persistence works really well with Fetch Quest as well, because it returns at a creature, enchantment, or land. So, I think this deck has a lot of synergy, a lot of things going on, a lot of things you can do with it, and the lands are just another thing you can do with it as well. So you can easily just cut Atraxa and add another Titan of Industry, and just not care about the other side of Devouring Sugarmaw. But if you do that, then you're gonna be able to not untap the Sugarmaw sometimes. So I feel like this was the best way to build it, but this is not in its final form, I should say. So if you want to try it out for yourself, check it out in the deck list in the description down below. Like the video if you like the content, subscribe to the channel if you do want to see more content like this, and I will see you in the next one. And as always, peace.